Hey everybody, we'll get started in a minute. I found out. Hey everybody. Hi Christina. Hi Nikita. Okay, let me go ahead and get present. Hey. Yeah, I'm really. No. Miami, Florida. It's cold. It can't be freezing in Miami, Florida. Are you serious? That's crazy. I'm in Atlanta. It's cold here. I'm from Detroit, so you said I've been keeping Kiss Me in heavy rotation. Child, you got somebody kissing on you, child? What's good? We need more kissing going on. 48 degrees today. Okay. Yeah, that's cold for Miami. You said, yes, my hubby, period. You said iguanas falling for... Listen, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Iguanas falling from the tree because it's cold. Po babies. You say I'm in Jamaica. Oh, I want to be in Jamaica. So tonight, y'all, this is going to be a very interesting conversation. Y'all, so for the most part, I have been going, besides last Friday, I have pretty much been going live on YouTube every Friday night for the most part. And I looked at some of my YouTube videos that I've done this year, and one was 2 weeks ago, another one was 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, yo, that feels like that was 6 months ago. I mean, okay, I'm exaggerating. That feels like it's like a couple months ago. You said, love the island of swimming over the Caribbean. Oh, Christina, that sounds so amazing. I really think, especially Black women, I really think we're supposed to be living in the tropic places. I don't think we're supposed to live anywhere else. Time is definitely flying, Tony. I feel yeah, right? So I've been changing a lot. I've been changing a lot. Those of you who are living in America like I am, times here are perceived as though they're changing a lot, but they've been changing. The world is changing. The world is shifting, and it's happening in real time. We are living during some really incredible times. And no matter where you're at in the world, whatever governance, whatever leadership, whatever policies, all of that jazz, like I've said in my lives here on YouTube, there's a divine narrative occurring that is drawing us to take accountability for our own self-governance over our inner well-being and releasing the tendency and addiction and condition of being codependent on external systems to give us some sense of safety, some sense of leadership, security, and freedom. It's gone. It's gone. We can no longer feel that from external systems. There is no more grace for that. Policies are for the taxpayer, and that's not us. You look like Whitney Houston when she was at her peak. What? Letty, you a little interesting with that statement. You said, "Hey, love, your music has brought me through something and still going." Thank you so much. Hold on. So tonight we're going to talk about affirmations for transforming your self-talk. This is an affirmation circle, which I am exploring doing more of these for us, whether they're pre-recorded or whether they're lives. And, I always say that, it'd be really, just as genuine and just as powerful for me to talk about, what happened and how I was changing and what I did 10 years ago to change my life or improve my life or for my own growth. But I have found it more authentic for me to talk about what I'm doing this morning, what I did yesterday, what I did last week. Because change is accelerating so much in my own life, and I know I'm not the only one. So shout out to the 10-year-old 10-year-old testimonies of what happened 10 years ago and the revolution that happened with myself and with my growth. But at the end of the day, like, it's what this was happening in real time in my life. And what is happening in my life real time is, oh my gosh. Let me just get present because I'm so full on so much to say. And I really do believe everyone who joins this live is supposed to be here. We're supposed to be having this conversation about transforming our lives through affirmations. And why is affirmations a tool for transforming your life? Y'all ready? Okay, so let me first of all give you all the personal context to this. Okay, hold on, y'all. I think I want to add a moderator. Who wants to be a moderator? Zoodoo. Yes, Kimberly. Affirmations. Okay, anybody want to volunteer to be a okay, Dominique, I'm going to have you be a moderator. Okay. All right, Dominique, I made you a moderator. Hi, Cheryl. Okay. So, personal context to this title, to this affirmation. Okay. Somebody was giving me a call. Hold on, y'all. All right. There we go. I was about to say, like, what? That's okay, y'all. Shayna, it's okay. Okay, personal context to what we're going to be talking about today. So, how much do I want to share? Because that's another thing that's changing about me is basically my relationship with vulnerability. That has been something that is adjusting as of this week is my refining of my vulnerability and transparency and how I show up. You know, it's been maturing, it's been evolving, it's been developing. I'm a lot better than how I used to be back in the day, you know, several years ago. But that is even changing with myself and just some refining of that. So even with sharing what I'm about to share, I'm like, let me check in with myself. What do I want to share and how do I want to share? How much do I want to share? So Affirmations for Transformation has become something that is not just a spiritual practice. Okay? Affirmations have less to do with spirituality for me. It has less to do with it being a positive self-help practice. It has become more so about me being in training of my brain. Through self-awareness, just living life, being in spirituality, being invested and committed to my growth, I have increased self-awareness, okay? The self-awareness has made me become more aware on my thought pathology, meaning what is my brain on a loop for? What does my brain have on a loop automatically by default? What is my brain addicted to think about? Are there any obsessions? Affirmations have become a tool of transforming my entire world like never before. It's like in my consciousness, it is less about spirituality. It's less about, you know, a positive practice. It's about getting in the trenches with my internal faculties and mechanisms. Follow me here, okay? Some years ago, I'll say 2009. Was it 2009? 2011, I believe. I may have graduated in 2012. I went back to school to get my degree in psychology. I always knew I didn't want to have a career in psychology. I knew I wanted to be like a psychologist, entrepreneur. And so I'm taking my time, Cheryl. I'm telling you, I'm taking my time because I have a lot to say and I want to make sure I'm clear and in integrity with how much I want to share. Because I'm going through some stuff right now. So when I went back to school to get my degree in psychology, I knew I wanted to be a psychology entrepreneur. I was not a fan of the careers that were in psychology because they seemed just disconnected with the people, if you will. And it was all about numbers, just from what I got exposed to. And by studying psychology, you know, I was able to resonate. A lot of what I grew up learning in the Bible became more real to me. Like there were scriptures like, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. There was another scripture that says, lest you become like a child, you will not enter the kingdom of God. Where's the kingdom of God? The kingdom of God is within you. Seek ye first in the kingdom of God, and all the riches, all the things you've ever wanted will be added unto you. Another scripture was, what was it? It's casting down strongholds and something I forgot, but the life and death is in the power of the tongue. There were other scriptures like, if it's anything pure, lovely, true, and of good report, think on these things. If it's anything pure, love, and of good report, think on these things. So when I got into psychology and I started learning about the makeup of our brain and the way that our minds operate and the way that our bodies operate, and I started getting into neuroscience, and I mean, seriously, my family saw me go into obsess mode. I committed to myself not to get anything less than a 98% on anything, on any of my assignments, any of my reports in school, because I wanted to prove to myself that I was smart. That's a whole nother story of why I didn't believe I was smart, okay? But I was prepared, and because I was so drunk in all of this knowledge around how we work, I was like, oh, I'm about to rock this out. And so I end up graduating summa cum laude because of that. And it was a very proud moment for me because I got a degree in something that I love, that I was passionate about, and did not, well, I will say it did stress me out. Like, I was stressed. I ain't gonna lie. Stressed, because I was very committed to getting nothing less than 98% on all of my assignments. So when I got 97, 96, I just was like, this is unacceptable. So before psychology, all I had was Christian-centered, information. When I got into psychology, the same time I got into psychology and neuroscience and human behavior, I came across Les Brown. A video on YouTube, Les Brown said, do these 7 things for 7 days and watch your life transform. And I said, hey, let me try it. One of them was getting rid of my TV. I got rid of my television, and I ended up becoming like a mad scientist, and I created a whole vision board on my entire wall. So I went to the art store and got like 6 feet of paper, and I just started, 10 years, this is what's gonna be. A lot of that stuff I did not do, okay? A lot of that stuff I did do. A lot of that stuff kind of evolved into other things. And Les Brown led me to Chanel Cooper Sykes, Lisa Nichols. Like, it was like the information was coming. Eckhart Tolle. And I was like, oh my gosh. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this is because in 2011, 2012 is when I started to get very intentional with my growth and evolution, with hacking my own patterns, my habits, my thought pathology to change my life. There were certain patterns in my family that I was like, that can't be me. I can't end up like that. I'm a juicy girl. I'm funny. I'm alive. I'm creative. I love my company. Like, I just knew my internal energy. And I knew that based on what I was experiencing when I moved to Baltimore, when I moved to New York, when I moved to Charlotte, I was like, this world could really destroy me if I let it. If I don't figure out how to hack my choices, okay? And so my journey with renewing my mind has been a long journey, y'all, okay? And so my personal experience with approaching my life in intentional ways has been a long journey, okay? However, it's 2025. It's a long time since I got real with myself. And it has been so many lessons and loops, repetitive ones, over and over again. I haven't got it yet. Why am I still doing this? Why I'm still choosing this? Is something wrong with me? Am I broken? When will I ever change? When will I really have that big aha win that I will never be the same again? The kind that I dream of, right? This is what the inner dialogue is. This will never happen. You will never experience ABC because of ABC. There are certain patterns that I can look at in the generations of the women in my family and the men and women in the men and women in my family, where I have concluded this can't be me. It has to be different for me. I have to figure out, I have, Dominique, I see you on these people, because child, what in the world? I've always, since 2011, around that time, 2012, I've always had this mindset of like, it has to be different for me. I want to be free. There's something in these equations that's not going to work out for me. So everything everybody else was doing in my social circles, in my family, I had to say, I don't know what I'm about to do, but I'm not going to do that. If anything that led me to making different choices, I wanted to be happy. I wanted my legacy to be being a happy woman, like having some joy about her, because I know that was inside of me. And whatever that I've experienced in life, I kept feeling like there was something out to get that type of light, that type of intention snuffed up out of me. And I'm telling you, it's so many times where I felt like, yeah, it's gone. I'll never be myself ever again. And then I evolve, and then I alchemize, and and the journey starts all over again. And so here we are in 2025. And I've realized the journey is not linear. It is not straight. It has a like a cyclical, like spiral type of experience where where I have found myself not learning the same lesson over and over again, but learning it and realizing it and actualizing it on a deeper level. And so as I go into this new year, the questions I'm asking myself are very intimate and very personal. For example, what is my brain addicted to thinking about? Let's put her out there. Let's look at her. If you left her unmonitored, what would she have on a loop? What is my body addicted to feeling? How much am I dependent on external stimuli to keep those loops going? These are real questions I've asked myself as of this week. I have mentioned before that in the past, I have struggled with suicidal ideation. And I attempted to unalive myself back in 2019. I've shared this story plenty of times. And the experience in the psych ward alone was catastrophic. That I just knew I wasn't going to bounce back mentally ever again. And to a certain extent, I have not been the same. I came into that psych ward mentally in crisis. I left worse. And it took me some years to heal from that experience. And it was never just about depression and, you know, a sad event happened in life. It was about, I don't like it here. You know, I had a very strong disenchantment with how our society was structured. So when life events happen, I was like, you know what, I can leave. I don't really like it here that much to be having to deal with this, you know? So that was where a lot of my ideation came from, okay? So my brain has been through a lot. And let's not even talk about the men. Jesus, save us all. Save us all, Lord. My experiences with men has taken a toll on my past. In my body, on my mind, on my perception. And so my experiences with my financial habits have taken a toll on my perception of myself, perception of my capability, my identity with business, with society, with all the things, right? And so this week, I took into account all that I have experienced, all that I'm experiencing now. And I'm like, being really honest with myself about what doesn't feel good to me right now. What thoughts am I thinking that are disempowering? What thoughts do feel good? What emotions do feel good in my body? And if what feels good is connected to the past, and what feels bad is because the past is not now, where do I go? And can I be honest with how I feel about what I've done with my life thus far? Where's my satisfaction? Not am I doing something that I'm passionate about? Am I doing something of value? Am I in my purpose? But I'm talking about deep satisfaction with myself. Where have I felt that deep satisfaction? What was I doing? What was I thinking? Who was I with? Who was I connected to? What habits did I have on repeat? Because I'm grateful for so much. I see how great gratitude is a cheat code. I do. And I have not mastered it, but I'm proud of where I'm at with my relationship with gratitude. But satisfaction is like the cousin of gratitude. You spend enough time with gratitude, you're going to feel a sense of satisfaction. However, there is a radical honesty that I've had to have with myself this week. Where am I dissatisfied in my life? And where is the source of it coming from? Is it coming from my mental patterns of my thoughts? Is it coming from the emotional memories that is locked in my body from past trauma, past experiences that I'm reliving, consistently? I'm taking a pause because there's something that's coming up for me that I'm not sure if I want to share or not. If I feel impulsive to share it, But just the way, even way my body is just tightening up, I'm just like, ooh, that's too much, Tony. But I'm a very expressive person. So okay, I'm gonna say it like this. Have you ever experienced a connection or a euphoric experience, or it could be an opportunity, it can be a love, it can be just, can you remember a time, a moment where it was just a euphoric feeling? You just felt like you were breathing, not for the first time, but it was a like, yes to this, I deserve this. And it didn't go not as you planned it to, but you felt like you didn't get the opportunity to really contribute to the longevity of it. Whether it was a position, a connection, opportunity, and it triggered that disappointment, that letdown triggered a thought pattern, an emotional memory in your body, in your mind, that is just a process of like, how did I wind up in this warp of emotions and thoughts about myself? Only because I opened my heart to possibility. I opened my heart to wander and explore what activated this unlocking of things in me that I didn't even know needed to be unlocked. What do I do with all of this now? It's a mess. It is messy. And I don't like it. Hand me my ice cream and brownies. Shout out to my emotional eaters. Shout out to us. It can be like being in love. It can be when you got that promotion. Like, I don't know what it is, but those disappointments, those letdowns, it's like, yo, I didn't even get the opportunity to really contribute to the longevity and the nourishing of what was possible. And so I'm saying this is because this is something I experienced in the 2023 going into 2024. And I have been reconciling with myself, with taking accountability, not only of my choices, but of knowing who I am and what I can handle, you know, and what I like, what feels good to me and what does not feel good. Yes, Monique, those highs and those lows and those ebbs and flows, and me being the person to be appointed to regulate myself. And I think I'm at a point where it's not just regulation, it is tending to my garden in a way where, I don't know if this is a sound statement. There may be space for that statement to not be true. But tending to my life like a garden, to where I'm protecting it from intruders, you know, pesticides and pest and what are those things called? They suck something out of you, not energy vampires, but parasites. And being able to recognize it in people who are close to you. So, and I guess that could be a leech. Yes, that's what it is, a leech. It's like being able to recognize that in people and being able to say, oh, you need to be over there, a little further over there. Or, you know what, you don't actually shouldn't be here at all. Not because I'm so high vibrational, but because I know myself. If I give if I give you intimate access to my heart, I know enough about myself to know that this is going to cost me to allow someone who does not care intentionally to interact with me on a level of maturity, of, you know what I mean? Skilled connection. Skilled connecting is a thing. Connection is not just, oops, we are here, and yeah, that's beautiful when you can feel that connection, but can we skillfully connect with one another over time? And one of the things that I have dealt with in the past year is opening myself up to possibilities with people and not, I won't say not honoring my intuition, but just honoring my intuition, but like leaving some grace for the dynamic, leaving grace for the dynamic. And I have experienced that leaving grace for the dynamic, whether it's professional or personal, has cost me a lot. It has cost me. Remember, the context for this conversation is affirmations for transformation. I'm just personally infusing my personal experience into this conversation before we get into the collective context of this conversation, okay? So I have been wrestling with myself last quarter, going into this year, like never before. Because I realized how much my brain has been addicted to the past. How much my body has so much emotional memory of what it has experienced, the trauma, the abuse. And to have to feel the work you've done to purify your heart, your motives, your suspicions, your jadedness, to feel the work you've done, the alchemy that you've done to purify yourself so you can be that much more open for the blessings, for the connections, for the possibilities, for the imaginations, for your own power to emerge through you. To feel that, but also remember in your body and remember in your mind how harmful it was when you opened up to someone, to possibility. Simultaneously, I have been feeling the work I've put in to be open, to be pure in my ways, to be trusting. But I also remember the abuse, the manipulation, and all these things. And so to counter the temptation of being a victim takes a lot of strength and energy. And one of the things that I have identified in the spiritual wellness community is what I coin as toxic accountability, meaning that you take all the responsibility of scenarios and dynamics of people and say, oh, I need to heal how I choose people, or it's all on me. I am to blame for my experiences. A lot of this accountability preaching is self-blaming, self-criticism. And I'm not with that shit at all. There's some ill intent folks out here. There's some men out here swerving and roaming and looking for the next prey to leech onto and suck you dry. Facts. Okay? Let's not bypass reality because of our spiritual alignments and because we've manifested another level of whatever. Okay, whatever we have encountered, this euphoric state of healthy relationships, healthy people. God bless you. Okay, it's a lot of us are in the trenches and have complex dynamics we're navigating to connect with other people in safe ways. So those of us who have arrived, see you when we get there, okay? But in the meantime, it's some of us who are in the trenches still navigating our lessons, our complexities, and so on. So as of this week, I have been reclaiming my authority despite what my brain is remembering and addicted to, and despite what my body is remembering. My body is remembering moments that blew my mind away, just blew me away, just opened my heart, just really just was like, whoa there, whoa, whoa. Heaven on earth is possible. You know? Affirmation music has swept me off my feet. There's certain soulmate connections I've had that have, I don't even know how to describe it. And my journey with both of those realities, my career, my personal life, it's taken a toll, y'all. I mean, it's sometimes where I'm just like, am I gonna be okay? Just honest. Just being honest. And so this week I said, you know what? Every day, I'm not just going to meditate. I'm going to train my brain to tap into another dimension of reality of me imagining who I truly am. And I'm pulling her into the emergence of my now. Who am I as an abundant woman? Who am I in my freedom? Who am I in my liberation? Who am I as a prosperous human being? Who am I in deep love connection? Who am I with an open heart, with beautiful boundaries? Who am I? Who is she? Let me see how she feels. Can I see her in my mind? She is creative. She owns her time. You know? What would she do today on January 24th with her time? Who is she in my mirror? This week, I feel like I want to cry because the resistance I have felt to that version of me, as not as someone that is far off in the country and I'm calling her out to come over here. She's here inside me. But it is requiring for me to put my past on the altar once again, in a deeper way, in an intentional way. Not just through confessions of releasing or letting go, but confessions of imagination, confessions of declarations, confessions of affirmations, confessions of creativity, creating myself from the imagination of my future, who I feel in me, the version of me that wants to emerge and animate itself through me. And at the same time, hold space for my own humanity that is not with the shits. My brain and body is like, no, this is what's familiar, baby. Yeah. This is how people are. You got to protect yourself. You just can't be out here. Shut yourself down. You know, I feel that program wanting to run in me. This is how men are. This is how, not too much on that, because that's a whole nother topic. Because there's some things that I have to accept about the psychology of males. However, I can't allow that to prevent me from being in my imaginative power as a divine woman that can create the world that she wants to live in. I have to use material for my own worthiness and what I deserve. This is what I've been going through this week. Okay? And it has been wild. There are scenarios, I don't want to call them problems. I don't even call them challenges. There are scenarios and opportunities that I am navigating that I do not like. I do not like, and I don't want this for me. However, I am owning that everything is working out for my good. I feel like I'm holding back tears right now. Everything. Someone said sacred anointing baptism. Yes. Everything. I'm seeing y'all comments, but I haven't been present with them, okay? So bear with me as I express myself and talk to y'all. Affirmation music, my authenticity is a responsibility. My creativity, who I am as an artist, is costing me the addictions in my brain and in my body. I honestly feel, if I'm to be honest with you, I feel a little lost. I do feel lost. There's some things that have occurred within this past year that I don't have an identity to grip onto. It's like I've lost it. I've been detaching my grip because I've been let down. You know, the pain of disappointment has pierced me. Be honest about that. But it's gotten to a point where it's like I will not allow victimhood to life scenarios to destroy me. I will not allow it to snuff the dreams and intentions and passions in my heart. The creativity, the visions, the ideas. I'm like, this is why artists be getting on drugs. This be why. I know now. Being an artist, being a creative is deep. It's deep. I had no idea when you're growing up and you're looking at, you're a fan of this, you're a fan of that, you know, of Whitney Houston, of these individuals and all of these people you grew up watching on TV and the movies. Like, being a creative, being an artist is such a responsibility. It's such a sacred path, especially if you're going to do it in integrity with your soul and you're not going to sacrifice your soul for it. So when I am talking about personally about affirmations for transformation, I'm not saying, hey, boys and girls, there's a formula to transform your lives. Just speak, I am abundant. I am beautiful. No. This is not surface level work. This is not work at all. This is intentional creativity. Using your imagination, the power of your focus, and being deliberate in your awareness to say, this is what my brain is addicted to doing when left unmanaged. This is what my body is feeling because of what it has experienced. However, I'm going to gather all of that and I'm going to breathe all of that in and I'm going to let it go and I'm going to release it through my breath. I'm going to hold compassionate space for it. But time is up. And I'm going to continue to let it go as many times as I need to. And I'm going to gather my attention. I'm going to gather my focus. I'm going to gather my mind. I'm going to gather my body. And I'm going to stretch it. I'm going to move it. You know, I'm going to move some of that energy. I'm going to release some of that tension to release the emotional trauma out my body. I'm going to figure out ways to get this body moving, get this body nourished. I'm going to create new thoughts. I'm going to create new imaginations. One of the things that I'm going to share without giving too much detail, there's a moment that I've experienced that my brain and body will not let me forget. Well, my brain and body has not let me forget yet. And I don't know when, I don't know. Okay? I'm working on it. It was such a great moment. It lives in my body. It lives in my mind. It was transforming moment. And I had to ask myself, am I experiencing anything that matches that feeling or more? And if I'm not, what will match that feeling or more? Or can I just say that was an amazing moment, but I can have more other things that light me up? Remember what lights you up. And so navigating, learning myself, remembering myself, experimenting with myself with what lights me up, what fuels my joy, has been such a just a very unique experience. Not that I'm new to this, but I'm true to it. So it's like I have to be in devotion to that. So with that being said, that is my personal context to this affirmation circle tonight around affirmations for transformation. This is what I am doing in my real time. I'm sharing with you guys. I'm taking my own medicine. I want to see how Toni Jones can unfold and emerge and animate her full self in January. I'm not thinking about February. Not yet, okay? But January, let's see how intentional I can get with my mind and my body. You know, onboarding them online with the vision of my future, the vision of my worthiness, the vision of my deservingness. Thank you. So, when it comes to the collective context, meaning you and me, us, I'm sure in y'all comments, I know so many of you guys, this resonates with you all. I know it. I feel it. So I took some notes. So I'm going to go into a collective context about affirmations for transformation. And then we're going to go into some real powerful affirmations. This is a video that you're going to want to save. Okay? This is a video you're going to want to save. Because these are not going to be average affirmations. So, number one, there's a reason why our phones are called cellular devices. The nature of a cellular phone is to what? Communicate, talk. What makes our bodies up? What's this body made up out of? Cells. That means that we are a physical communication system, if you will. We operate on a cellular level of input, output. Things are interdependent and they work together. We have good cells, we have bad cells. We have health. Okay, let me rephrase that. We have healthy cells and we have unhealthy cells. And the ones that are the strongest are the ones that are fed the most. Food, external stimulation, what we listen to, what we watch, the conversations we engage in, the thoughts we have, well, the things that we put on our bodies, everything is communicating with this intelligence of communication that we call the body. I didn't make this up. This didn't come from no Tony Jones book. This didn't come from some enlightened download I have. This is all science. This is all biology. Okay? Number one, the number one, we have to understand that we are a communication system. We feed and operate off of information that we input and output all day long, okay? And sidebar, that's part of our issues right now because we're overstimulated with too much information. So when we talk about self-talk, we're not just talking about some positive practice. We're talking about biology. We're talking about chemicals. We're talking about neurology. So when we talk about affirmations of transformation, we're talking about transformation on a biological level, on a neurological level, and on a chemical level. The chemicals that are running through our body, that are running the show on a hormonal level, on a cellular level, on a neurological level, on a nervous system, is phenomenal. I can't believe it's more than one body here. It's so many. It's like, what, 8 billion bodies on this planet? Phenomenal walking, extraordinary divine technology devices we're operating in this body. The amount of chemicals and cells, that's a lot of communication. So let me give you a little nerdy thing I learned when I was in school. It's a thing called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is, in other words, a process of changing your mindset. Changing your mindset is a very popular statement and practice that so many gurus and modern thought leaders and life coaches have said. I've said over the years, especially post-pandemic. Change your mindset, change your life. But what does that mean? What does that mean? Remember the scriptures that I told you guys earlier, before I got into psychology and self-help? Says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Whatever is good, lovely, pure, and of good report, think only on these things. Why? Because our body is listening. Our brain is computing. Our reality is responding and interacting. But we're internally communicating. So, neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, I'm going to give you guys a very comprehensive example. Think of this hand as the brain you were born with. Okay? This brain right here that you were born with was shaped in your mother's womb. And you were birthed. And your brain started processing information that you heard, things that were said to you, that 0 to 7 years old time frame. And it's growing and it's formulating perception, beliefs, and concepts. It's organizing information. If you pay attention to babies and little kids, they stare. They're in a hypnotic state. I forgot what brainwave they're in. Theta? I don't know what brainwave. Don't get me lying, okay? But this brain is being formulated by their external conditions and their actual cellular makeup from their parents, okay? And so this is how the mind sets, okay? So the belief systems around money, relationships, love, worthiness, identity, what's good, what's bad, what's girly, what's boyish is getting formed. Okay? You grow up into 8 years old, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17 on. And now you have a mind that has been cultivating memories, habits, responses, ideas, and so on. So say if you have a mindset around money that is more of a impoverished mindset because of the lack you grew up around. And now you see money as a means of survival. Like, I have to have it. I need to do whatever the case may be. On the subconscious level, yes, Cheryl. And so you're basically downloading information from the time you get here onto your database, onto your hard drive of understanding and perceiving yourself in the world. So as you get older, you get access to the internet. Let's say or you just get new information about understanding the world and understanding yourself. Now these are new ideas. What? Love myself. Centering my life around well-being. Rest is productivity too. Affirmation music, the power of my mind. I'm a spiritual being. What is this information? I love myself. I should love myself. These are all new ideas. But this brain right here that you were born with has received not only the information they learned and perceived and watched in their household, but also from school, also from their social settings and peers, also from television and music. This brain right here has been set and supported by whole society and conditioning. But this new thought comes in to interact with this other neurology, and this brain is saying, I love myself. I center myself around my well-being. I matter. These are all new thoughts. This brain don't know nothing about that. So what do we do with that? There's a war starting to happen. Neuroplasticity is not saying let's go to war with the old mind. Neuroplasticity is about feed this new thought, because this old brain is strengthened and solid and it's set. So now we're redesigning and renewing your whole entire brain makeup by feeding the new neurons, which is your new brain friends, your new thought that are coming in, and you're strengthening that. How do you strengthen that? The way you speak to yourself, what you're visually stimulating, the people you're around. It's not about working yourself like a project or a problem to be fixed. It's more like you're gardening. You're more like a science, and you're being a creative. You're being the ultimate creative by saying, I know what this brain does by default. It's been supported by society. It's been supported by social engineering. It's been supported by pain and trauma and suffering. But I'm worthy of a new. And what I have is my imagination and my will to make this my new life, this my default. And so the stronger you feed this just slides on back to the back seat. Now, thing about it is, life is going to trigger this brain and say, "Hey, put me back in, coach." And what I want to share is that in those moments of discomfort, when you're renewing your mind, when you're saying these new things, that I am beyond powerful, I have sovereign authority over my cellular makeup in my body. My body is constantly supporting and regenerating new cells for my health and prosperity. My body tells a story of evolving into a healthier, loving state. My body is supporting me in that way. When you start to speak those things over your body, you start speaking your stuff, not just over your life like I'm prosperous. It's no, I have a prosperous neurology that's aligned with my financial abundance and prosperity. I love the way I manage money in my future. I know that because I'm practicing now. I'm learning it now. I'm speaking it now. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? When you start doing that, there may be some discomfort that happens. Like, say if you have a life event like the loss of a job, while you on the road speaking your shit. When you on a roll and you lose a job, or you find out a betrayal happened, and now it's just like that new mindset that you're feeding is like, oh no, the default comes up and says, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, this always happens to me. But when that happens, what did I write down? It says the feeling of resistance to the new mind is actually a sign that change is happening. It's like when muscle soreness after a workout. Like you work out real good. You in the gym. You working out. You know what I'm saying? You moving the body. But then your muscles start aching. And you start saying, there's resistance. Because you're moving new muscles, you're moving new tissues, you're starting to move energy through your body. So when it's the same thing when you start to do things differently with your life, with your mind, with your voice, with your body, you know? You start speaking, not only speaking over your life, but you're bringing your mind to a focus. You're bringing your attention, imagination to a focus to what you're saying, because you're not performing consciousness. You are embodying the practice of who you are as pure consciousness. This requires a lot of attention and intention. So of course there's going to be resistance, but that's okay, because that is just the sign that you're changing, just as when your muscles are sore when you start moving your body. Make sense? It means we're breaking down old patterns to build new ones. We're breaking old patterns to build new ones. We're breaking old patterns by building new ones. Say it with me. I am breaking old patterns by building new patterns. I am breaking old patterns by building new patterns. The sensation of discomfort is the feeling of neural networks reorganizing themselves. The neural networks. There is a whole neurological community happening in here. There's a reason why we were never taught how to use our imagination intentionally and skillfully. What is the purpose of imagination? Why do we have one? You know? It's because it gives us the power to retrain and reprogram our whole mind, our whole brain, and how it works. And this is our creative power. This is really how we create true art, is by creating ourselves. My music, the things I want to create, it comes from me creating myself. When I put in my song Currency about money, I say I get paid to be me, because who I am is infused into my music. It's infused into what I create. And this was what makes the authenticity so undeniable. Because people, we are energetic beings. You can feel me in this live right now. You can feel me in the music. You feel connected to my story. is because I'm in integrity with the energetic level of my creativity, with myself first. We're building a new brain. Resistance is a sign of transformation. It's not a sign that we are behind. And I say we is because I'm talking to myself too. I don't know if you all know about quantum physics, but quantum physics, the quantum world, is all about the unseen world. Our quantum reality is what's happening to us on a neurological level, on an emotional level, electromagnetic level. We are electromagnetic beings. I'm not going to dive into that whole 411 of what that means, but this is all science. This is all science. So to transform ourselves, we must understand that we are quantum beings that have electromagnetic field operations through the way that we feel, the way that we consume, the way we speak, and the way we think. To transform our lives, we must own who we are as quantum beings. We have been conditioned in the Western world to over-identify with our physical reality way too much. Way too much. And I feel like this conversation and how I move forward, I don't know where I'm going to land in how I show up, because I know I'm changing. Not that I'm drastically different than what I was, like who I've been, online or in how I show up in the world, but I know I'm changing. There's things that I'm like, it's just, some things are just so off brand. You know what I mean? I'm just like, wow. Who am I emerging into? But I know one of the things is I want to demystify and decolonize healing and growth. And what do I mean by demystify? Demystify growth and healing from like all the woo-woo-ness of it. This shit is science. This shit is biology. Let's take all and shout out to my esoteric girls, okay? Not too much on us, okay? I'm an esoteric centered woman as well. But we have to demystify this and understanding that long-lasting transformation requires intentional practice on a quantum level through our imagination, training our brain, not as some project to heal ourselves, but to give ourselves a new brain so we can give ourselves a new reality. And when I say a new brain, I mean what do they call that? The brain and heart coherence. Because feelings to the body is what thinking is to the mind, to the brain. And the body holds a lot of emotional memory. So while we are renewing our minds, we also have to be conscious of what our body has memorized. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, and I'm gonna give you guys an example of what I did this week. That is an example of that brain-heart coherence, okay? Merging the body and the heart. Yes. Again, I'm pausing because I want to see how I want to articulate and express this without oversharing. Okay. If I have a new thought that's indicating more of my worthiness, my desired future, my desired reality, but I have a memory in my mind that counters the imagination of that reality, that desired reality. And I also, that memory, I can feel it. I can feel it. I almost have tears about it, or I get mad about it, or I start to scrunch my face about it, because that memory has an emotional charge. That memory has some power. Core memory locked in. This could be something that happened 20 years ago. This could be something that happened 5 months ago. This could be something that had happened a year ago. But that memory has an emotional charge to it, which gives it leverage. It's a chief in the internal world, okay? And it's running the show. But this new thought, this new imagination and vision of what you deserve, what you're worthy of, the desired reality, it doesn't have much emotional charge to it, because you don't have any data points that this can be real. You have more data points that it's not possible. You know? So when I talk about merging my mind and my body together to be in coherence, it's about sitting with the desired reality long enough to feel it. To hold space for any resistance to it. When the resistance comes, or when the mind wants to distract you from the imagination, the imagery of what you're channeling into your now, you just bring yourself back to the 0 point of tapping right back into that vision that you have for yourself. The mind will try to distract you, but you bring yourself right on back. What is the vision? What do you think you're going to feel in that reality? Feel it. What in your present moment already feels that way? Sit with that. If my desired reality, I believe it's going to feel like this, it's going to feel like A, B, and C, then bring yourself to the present moment and say, what now in my reality feels like that or feels close to that? Sit with it. Allow the body to feel what you're thinking about in your mind, so you charge that thought up. This is quantum sovereignty, okay? Fuck what you heard about what's going on in the social climate. If it's not fueling my quantum sovereignty to create the reality that I deserve and that I have power to create, not too much on my timeline. You feel me? I don't have space to judge, assess, and disagree with what's happening in the world. I'm too busy and too occupied, and it's taking so much energy for me to deal with how I'm judging and assessing and disagreeing with myself. You know what I mean? I got my own Fox News and CNN News and headline news that's telling me all type of things to disagree with. It's all happening here. It's all happening here. I'm trying to turn those channels off and create new channels to tap into the reality that I imagine and that I desire and that I deserve. Call it spiritual bypassing if you want. I know my heart, you know? So when I talk about the body and the heart, that's what I mean. That's what I've been doing this week. And it has not been easy. It has not been easy. Protecting our peace, absolutely. It's the truest revolution you can do for your peace, for your sanity while you're playing. And so it's being able to sit with the vision long enough. When I imagine me going on tour in 2026, fully sponsored by a corporation that's aligned with me, like Gaia Network, and I can look into the audience in an intimate setting and see us connecting with the music together, us crying, us celebrating, the mood lighting, the aroma in the space, the aesthetics, when I can just feel the airiness, the lightness, the connection between the music and us. How good that feels. How long of a journey it took all of us to connect on a tour. You know what I mean? When I sit with that vision for my future for 2026, I want to feel that. I want to feel how good and stress-free the planning process was, because we were in alignment. That the production team, the event management team, I got to manifest a tour without stress, without the expense of an exhausted body. The alignment brought the people together and the funding together. Because I refuse to be an artist that pays a price of her well-being to share her service to humanity. Not on my watch. I wait 8 years before I go on tour. You feel what I'm saying? I'm new here. I just started music in 2019. This was not on my radar. But I got a gift. I was given a gift. And I love it. I love that I get to do this. And I pray that I continue to create music, and I pray that I align people who are in integrity to source and love and their own souls, to produce and create more affirmation music with me. And I love thinking about being able to pay them what they're worth, and contracts are signed and we're both in fair agreements. Like, despite what I've experienced, heartbreaking experiences that in the music industry, in the music space, where I can see why people give up on music. It really can dishearten an artist to even love music, because it's unreal. It can be so disheartening of what people will do when money is an issue, or when jealousy or envy is an issue. You'd be surprised at how many people have been possessive and controlling and jealous and envious just because you betted on your inner work to be the source of your creativity, and what you didn't bet on connecting with this person or going to all these parties and hustling and networking and trying to get somebody to put you on. You didn't bet on that. You betted on yourself and you developing your inner work, your inner light, to be a magnet to the aligned opportunity. You see what I'm saying? It can be a wild experience dealing with people in the music space, and it has for me. It's been like that for me, but I am willing to be that much more devoted to creating an experience and a habitat and a future for me to create music in healthy ways with healthy people, with pure intended people who are not in survival mode. Let's take a deep breath, y'all. Before we get into the affirmations, I want to say that I want you all to be able to take away remembering that you are made up of chemicals, neurological neurological patterns, emotional habits that are running on a loop. And through consciousness and awareness, you get to disrupt that loop in a gentle and a surgical scientific way with new information through your imagination, through your desire, through your new emotion, your new feeling, your new thoughts. And you get to amplify that every single day, not as a job, not as something that you're employed to, like you're on some personal development project that you have to fix, but you are in devotion to today is a new day. Today is when I let go of the past like never before. I let go of the past so powerfully. I'm so dope at letting the past go on a cellular level, on a mental level, on an emotional, financial level. I am perfect at letting things go. I'm perfect at it. I choose to believe and think about how perfect I am at letting the past go. I let it go a little bit more when I stretch my body and I release that tension. When I breathe in and breathe out, when I'm responding to life scenarios. I'm perfect at letting it go when I interrupt my mind, when I'm ruminating about the past. I'll use my consciousness and say, oh, where's my new thought? I want to borrow that new thought to enter into this moment right now. You know? Remember, we are made up of chemicals, cellular data. You know? Neurology. Very, very, just a technology that is profound. And we are supported. That's the beautiful part. We are sourced with a great deal of support on all levels. Levels that we can't fully even understand and comprehend. And we have a right to trust that. Mainly because we have the receipts to tell us, as long as the journey that we've been on, we're still here. And you're sitting on this live in this conversation. That tells a story that something is supporting us along the way. So let's get into these affirmations. This is what I have been saying to myself this week. No more feedback loops. We are breaking free in the moment. We are breaking free in the moment. That's bringing tears to my eyes because we are devoted to our financial liberation. We are devoted to our personal autonomy, to own our time, our lives, our desires, our passions, our affection, our intimacy. We deserve it. And we deserve to let go of the past that tells us to stay in the familiar because the uncertainty is unsafe. We deserve to use our attention and intention and our voice to speak over ourselves, to hold ourselves when we feel most fragile, when we feel like we're still immature in some ways, when we're still growing. We get to speak perfect words over our lives to transform our lives as many times as we need to. What I said this morning, had to say this afternoon. I probably have to say it after I get off this live because I'm determined to be in communication with my truest self. I've been through a lot. And that's really what fuels me. I've been through a lot. I feel like I'm about to start crying again. I've been through a lot, man. And it's like, I got to know And I got to commit, and I have to continue the exploration and the discovery of the goodness that's here, the beauty that is here. I deserve to lock in. I deserve to focus in on what feels good and feed into that. And I get to swipe left on all the things that don't feed or nourish that. While I'm navigating the complexities of my responsibilities and my obligations in the mundane life, like laundry and bills and kids, and I can do this. I have the power to change my mind. I have the power to renew my whole entire makeup on a chemical, cellular, neurological, emotional, electromagnetic field level. I can do that. I'm that powerful. And I'm going to use my imagination, and I'm going to use my words, and I'm going to use my time to do it as much as I want till my reality shifts to reflect what lives inside of me. We are creative beings. Our whole design tells us we are creative. Let's put our hands on our heart. What does this communicate to the body? Put your hand on your heart. Feel that heartbeat. That heart has been with you every step of the way. From the time you were formed in your mother's womb to the time trauma hit your front door, to the time you experienced what success felt like, to the time you experienced that betrayal, that heartbeat, consistent. The heartbeat represents the consistency, the rhythm. And the most compassionate thing we can do is be in rhythm with that. Even if we say, you know what, I can't do this today. I'm taking a day off. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I don't feel like being in coherence with all the things today. I need to regulate my nervous system and get close to the things that feel good to me, that help me feel comforted. That's okay. But this heartbeat is a reminder that tomorrow I may be different. Tonight I may say something different. But I'm not giving up. My heartbeat is not giving up. So put your hand on your heart. Yes. And say this with me. Today, I step into my new reality. Right now, I step into my new reality. Today, my thoughts create my new timeline. Today, I become the person I know I can be. Today, I become the person I know I can be on a cellular level, on a chemical level, on a speech level, on a mental level, on a perception level, on a emotional level, on a physical level. The fabric of my reality is deeply connected to my being on a quantum level. The fabric of my reality is deeply connected to my being on a quantum level. I am supported by forces beyond the seen realm. I am supported by forces beyond the seen realm. The evidence is in my breathing. The evidence is in my mobility. The evidence is in my bloodstream. The evidence is in my heartbeat. I am sourced by a quantum reality. I trust this flow of life. I trust this intelligence in life. I am safe being limitless. I am one with the intelligence of the entire universe. I make up inside of me infinite consciousness. The evidence of this is my ability to travel in my mind, in my body, to the past, to the present, and to the future. I am made up of infinite consciousness. My consciousness can travel all timelines. I let go of old patterns. I let go of old habits. I am recalibrating every moment of the day. The evidence is how my cells in my body are regenerating, how my blood cells are fighting for me, how my immune system is always supporting me. I'm recalibrating to the energy that's always supporting me to be in my highest timeline of health, wealth, harmony, and love. This is the way my body is designed on a quantum level, on a physical level, on a cellular level. I trust this process in my body to be aligned with my healthiest, my sexiest, my most harmonious, wealthiest self. So be it. So it is. So I am. And that's on period. Amen. Amen. Oh my God, it is so. It is so. And I pray that we get to be a witness of how this encounter animates in real time in our lives. I hope you all got something out of this. I hope this landed and got tattooed in your ever-living soul. So, thank you all. Thank you all. I'm reading your comments. You say it's tatted, says period. So if you all, I have a couple of offerings that if you guys feel true to opt into, I have a storytime affirmation audiobook called Healing Is Not My Purpose. I'm going to be releasing storytime audio visual books throughout the year. They are virtual downloadables, and I have it on my link is in my in this video, in this post. You guys just go to that link and purchase it. So every song that I have, I'm going to be creating storytime audio visual books. So opt into that. I'm also doing a actual virtual circle. The link, all the links is in my bio. If you want to join my membership, all of it is there. If you're like, yo, I want to get close to this message and be in community and be in connection closer, all the links are in my bio. If you know someone who missed this live, share the link with them and make sure you subscribe and like this video. It's the energy exchange that we get to exchange and share with one another, okay? When you share this message, when you opt into the services and the offerings, okay? I love you all. Here's to, episode Earth 2025. Let's see what happens, y'all. Let's speak it. Let's speak what happens as well, all right? Good night, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace. I love you too. I love you too. Good night, y'all.